So how would you feel if you was a part of one of the biggest films of the last year and only made $150 from it? Because that is the sad reality for a lot of people that were a part of some of the biggest anime films of the last few years, in particular, especially one of the latest ones. And there is just so much drama, so much chaos and problems coming right now via the anime voice acting industry and just in general the industry as a whole, because as things continue to expand, other people are going to be like, yo dog, where's my bread? You know what I'm saying? Like, if, you know, Sony's throwing the millions to the company and the company is, you know what I'm saying, getting all this bread, all the voice actors, all the people, the creatives, all the people involved in the production of these anime are going to be like, yo, what happened here? Where's our money? And that's where everything has hit the fan and things is going wild, and we got to talk about this in the next episode of FORNEVERNEWS! Whoa, you feel that? That's the sound of you subscribing and hitting that bell so you get all notifications when we drop new episodes of Forever News. We give you all the latest and greatest news from Japan on anime, manga, you name it, we're covering it. Make sure to hit those buttons. Yes, people, in case you haven't heard, the word right now that's going on over on Twitter and a few other places is that voice actors are very upset right now, and they are actually speaking out, a few of them at the very least, over some of the low wages, the ridiculously low wages to a certain degree, that they're undergoing, and the fact that these wages are based on very old systems, very old models, very old things from like 20 freaking years ago. Like, there's no way in hell, if the cost of living, especially as of recent post-pandemic and whatnot, the cost of living has gone way ridiculously up. However, voice actors are getting paid like they were 20 years ago prior to the world, you know, kind of increasing in, you know, monetary and whatnot, capitalism. But for starters, right here, this is gonna blow your mind. You're gonna be like, oh my god, really? Because one person pointed out that it was ridiculous that Viz, which I believe it wasn't Viz, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually Crunchyroll that has Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. They spent more on an ad for Jujutsu Kaisen Zero in Times Square than it paid for the entire English dub. And the movie was #1 in Japan and #2 in the US. If that is indeed true, if that is a fact, then wow, that is pretty disturbing, first of all, that you're looking at like, screw these people, you know what I'm saying? We got to get the promotion going, which I understand. Absolutely, you have to invest in marketing. Marketing is the #1 important thing. Like, that whole saying of, if you build it, they will come, is wrong. If you build it, they're only going to come if you got some bomb-ass marketing or a miracle happens. And we're not going to go with the miracles right now. We're going to just kind of throw ourselves at it and say, hey, I'm going to put my best foot forward. And the thing about it is that, yo, that's all fine and dandy. Absolutely. Spend the money that you need to have a billboard, but you also got to spend the same equivalent money in terms of what voice actors should be making to make sure the cast and the staff of this movie is fine and happy and content. If not, you're going to get things like this, because there's people that are speaking out, and if you've done something like paying for a billboard more than you've done investing in the actual product, don't forget that an English dub lives on forever unless they redub it, which they don't really do redubs anymore because dubbing in the US has gotten a lot better since 10-20 years ago and whatnot. That is immortalized forever. And another voice actor spoke out and said, I am one of those voice actors. I made $150. Hold up. What? I am one of those voice actors. I made $150. I asked if they would negotiate since it was for the theatrical release, and I was told no. Holy cow, $150 to be a part of one of the biggest films in all time in Japan, but also over here. Like, okay, you're an English dub actor. You don't really have much to do with Japan, although the fact that, again, it's a very big title that you're a part of. So if you're a part of a big production's supposed to come with big budget. That's like if I'm creating a show right now and everybody knows there's like $100 million going into it. Like, I'm exclusive to like Apple Podcasts or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I got the Joe Rogan bag, and with $100 million, like, I go from this mic and I'm with like the cheapest little snowball mic, and like the lighting is terrible and everything. You're gonna be like, yo, Forever, they just dropped a bag of $100 million on you. What are you doing right now? You playing with us? Like, this isn't Forever News. So if a big production, like a film like Jujutsu Kaisen Zero that blew up over there is, you know, massive and whatnot, then again, the voice actors over here should also be paid accordingly and shouldn't be paid based on very old models. Now, we'll be fair with this voice actor in particular, which it still stands very firm with most voice actors, if not all, the major issues that they're facing. But somebody did point out that, no offense, and not to say your work shouldn't be valued more, but don't you have like 2 lines in the movie? I'm just curious how much a smaller part like that equates to on your end and what you feel that should be worth. So in case you don't know, I'm about to blow your mind with this one. Are you ready? Ready? Normally, from what I've been told for a long time now, is that if you're a voice actor, like for example, you're walking into a Funimation booth, I don't know necessarily really exactly now, but I'm almost certain I heard as recent as a few months ago that it is still in the ballpark. I believe you get $65 an hour as a voice actor. Sounds crazy, right? $65 an hour. My people are fighting for $15. 65, hells yeah. And it's a minimum of 2 hours of work. So you are guaranteed $130 the moment you get any role with Funimation. You're guaranteed $130. Here's the thing, right? So it's 2 hours of work. A lot can get done in 2 hours. And if you have a very minuscule role, such as this one right here, they probably got, $150, which is a little over 2 hours, I guess, right? If 130, 150, they probably got, maybe things is a little bit better now, whatever. But nevertheless, they got $150, which probably is about 2 hours worth of work. Maybe it went up from $65 to $75 an hour. But still, nevertheless, $150 to have any type of role in a big film like that. And because I could accept a very low, minuscule pay, I could accept that, yo, dog, they gave me pennies. I barely did anything, right? But considering I'm a part of this production, one of the biggest things is like, yo, dog, where's the residuals? These voice actors don't get residuals. If you don't know what residuals are, it's basically like right now when you watching, let's just say they rerunning an episode of The Fresh Prince or Steve Harvey or any of those classic shows, Martin, all of those classic shows, if they're rerunning it, chances are, as long as those actors signed a really good deal and whatnot, like Martin is getting paid every time Martin is in syndication. Gina's getting paid every time, Martin is in syndication, the TV show. Anytime any of that, as long as they had signed good deals, they always catch a check. It could be a small check, a big check, but they catch a check. So if it was something like that, yeah, give me $150. I don't care. I'm about to make money for the rest of my life. But that's not the case. They don't do that in anime. At the very least over here with the English cast, I don't know about in Japan how things work over there. I'd imagine, like, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? One of the big dogs like Masako Nozawa, voice of Goku, probably, I'd imagine, must be able to negotiate for some residuals, right? And if not, then that's even worse. But then things carried on a little bit between this VA and this gentleman. This VA said, traditionally, anime that is intended for a theatrical release pays a tiny bit more than when you record episodes for streaming or TV. Not a lot more, but a token of acknowledgement that it will make more money. I was paid exactly what I make for the show. No negotiation. So essentially, what was you wanting, like 10 more bucks? Like, the whole thing about it is that this needs from the ground up a rebuild. Like, I understand you have very valid problems and criticism with this. Like, you're valid. The problem is not that, like, yo, dog, you should have got the 10, 20 extra bucks. The problem is that the whole thing should be redone. Like, nobody should be a part of a giant production like that as a talent and get paid that. And the thing about it is that, let's just say she got paid that $150. Let's just say, okay, that was for the 2 lines, right? It still was 2 hours worth of work. A lot can get done in 2 hours. So potentially you could make, like, if you're the star of it, let's just say you're Yuta Okotsu in this production, ideally you could even make less than $1,000 if they can get all your lines done in time. If you're really sharp with it and whatnot, you can make less than $1,000. Again, you could even make $150 if you could get all your lines done in 2 hours. You could make $300, let's just say, in 4 hours. You made $300, and there, like, can you survive? What can I do with $400? Can I pay my rent? I can't pay my rent with $400. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Gas right now is ridiculous, dog. Things is going crazy. I can't freaking pay for all of this if I'm getting paid $130 and they tell me we see you in 2 months when season 3 comes or some shit like that. That's not gonna work. And this VA, Tara Jane Sands, forgive me for not addressing you by your name, I apologize. I also want to make it clear that I am not blaming the recording studio for this, since they're given budgets that they must stick to. These changes need to come from the top. It's hard to know if the people at the top even hear our requests for frustrations, and that one is factual. Forget about the extra token of appreciation, like, oh, you gotta be a part of something, you ain't getting much, mate, but here's a little trinket, my lord. Like, no, they're supposed to be getting their just dues. Again, this VA, it's a little hard to throw the argument because you had like 2 lines or whatever. Let's just say you even had 10 lines, 5 lines or something like that in comparison to the other ones. But yeah, that's still 2 lines that was meant for if they had 15, 20 lines. If Tara Jane Sands had 20 lines right now and she could get it all done in 2 hours, she was still walking away with that $150. And again, that's just not good. That's not right. Like, maybe back in the day, anime didn't make as much. It wasn't as mainstream. It wasn't as popular. You couldn't really, fit these budgets. You had what you had 20 years ago. We're in 2022 now. Pay them a little bit more. Pay them accordingly at the very least. Not even a little bit more, because again, I would be like, I'm not even gonna lie. A part of me feels like being in there, I try to put myself in their shoes. A part of me would almost feel just a smidge of embarrassment of like, yo, dog, because you know how people have their expectation. Oh, you in a movie? You in a movie? How much you got paid for that movie? And then you got to look at them and say $150. Most people are gonna think, oh, you capping. Either you're capping about it because it's too low, capping about it because it got way more. Like, they just gonna think you're lying because what? But then that's also other side discussion of perception of what people think really is going on compared to the smoke and mirrors that Hollywood and the music industry and all these other big entertainment conglomerates put through. Most of the stuff that you see, you think it's real. The numbers you think it's real. A lot of times there's a lot of fudging going on because they know that it motivates us. Oh, that sold well. Unfortunately, wow, everybody's loving it. I'm gonna jump in and see what's going on. And not necessarily really me, because for the most part, I like what I like, and if somebody else likes it, cool, but I'm not gonna jump in like, oh, they're liking it, I gotta like it. Like, if I like it, I like it, but yeah. And the story just quickly brings me to an article that I did want to read a smidge of so you guys get a little bit more context on just how big this battle goes. The battle for union anime dubs by Evan Minto of Anime News Network, shoutouts to them. Crunchyroll and Funimation are competitors no longer. Now merged into a single company under their parent company, Sony, this new incarnation of Crunchyroll is the largest and most powerful anime company outside of Japan. Almost immediately after a merger was announced, voice actor Stephanie Shea, who did Usagi in Sailor Moon, tweeted, "Now that Funimation and Crunchyroll are merging, can we get some union dubs?" Which is very, very big, again, going into this whole argument. Actors like Crispin Freeman and Ben Diskin chimed in to support Shea's request, arguing that Sony's backing means Crunchyroll can afford to switch over to union dubbing. But what exactly are union dubs, and why are actors demanding them now? When it comes to film and TV acting in the US, there's really only one labor union, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG. As Justin Savakis explained in an Answer Man column back in 2019, the union represents over 160,000 performers, including voice actors, and negotiates contracts with studios to guarantee consistent pay, working conditions, contributions toward health insurance, and a pension, and preferential casting for union members, basically giving you a little bit of an edge, giving you help in a entertainment world that is not guaranteed. It's giving you not necessarily a guarantee, but a little more of a, hey, it's probably going to work out a little better for you than the next guy. It's not a guarantee, but it probably will. A union dub is simply a show with a SAG contract. If a studio doesn't have a contract, members aren't allowed to work for them, and the studio has to hire non-union talent instead, which basically would mean, like, you know, less experience. We got right here Josh Grell recording a line for Funimation's Double Drifters. Employees are conditioned to believe that any actor who asks for too much can easily be replaced with someone else, says voice actor Kyle McCarley, who does Mob in Mob Psycho 100. These are a lot of big names, mind you. Like, that was Sailor Moon that started this off. We got Mob from Mob Psycho 100. We got, like, yo, dog. But when we have all the support of our peers, we can stand firm on certain minimum requirements without fear of being replaced. The majority of notable film and TV actors are union members, meaning that most productions also have to be union in order to cast them. The dubbing industry, however, is historically under-unionized. They want to make sure that y'all ain't getting that bread that y'all deserve, especially when it comes to anime. I spoke to multiple actors who struggled to name a Crunchyroll or Funimation show that they were sure was union, though G-Kids and Aniplex produced some union dubs, and Netflix is all union. That's a benefit of Netflix. Shout outs to Netflix for that. Yo, I gotta give them kudos. You know, we talk about some of the stuff that may irritate us, that seems worrisome or whatever, but if y'all have a union, y'all treating the actors right, obviously y'all got the bag to do so, but nevertheless, y'all setting a precedent of this is how it's done. Those are the things I respect. Shout outs to Netflix for that aspect at the very least. Companies can afford to go non-union because many voice actors aren't SAG members, and voice actors can justify not joining the union because so many productions are non-union anyway. Pay rates for dubbing are among the lowest in the acting business, and the problem is even worse in anime. Larger and larger corporations are getting involved in this process, and yet wages remain the same, says voice actor Marin Miller, who did Izanami and Be the Beginning. Money is obviously being made, but it is not trickling down. Consider JJK Zero, the anime film that took the #2 spot in the US box office in its opening weekend. As voice actor Michael Schwab discussed in a recent Twitter thread, Jujutsu Kaisen English voice actors were likely paid just between $150 to $600 each. So yeah, wow, even possibly Yuta or Gojo got $600 for a film that made right now $30 million. In fact, I'm gonna blow your mind with this one too. Dragon Ball Super Broly was surpassed by Jujutsu Kaisen already. If I'm not mistaken, I believe an article just dropped that said Jujutsu Kaisen surpasses Broly with like $30 million in the US. Freaking crazy. We surpassing Dragon Ball, bro. That is massive. So if you're surpassing Dragon Ball, you're doing stuff like that over here in the West, where is the raise? Where is the incentive for the VA? Based on the going rate in the industry. That's not a per hour rate. That's the total amount. The reasons date back to the origins of the industry, which again, the industry used to be very small in comparison, so that's understandable that back then it was a lot, a little topsy-turvy, because, they wasn't making bread like that. Origins of the industry, according to the Coalition of Dubbing Actors, a group that campaigns on behalf of voice actors. Dubbing began as a very small part of the film world, used only for localizing foreign films and short sessions for cleaning up dialogue. Because it wasn't viewed with a lot of respect, the pay was low and SAG didn't prioritize it in negotiations. Anime brought dubbing into the mainstream, but the rates remained unchanged. It was such a low priority for SAG that until recently, they were relying on a dubbing contract that was last updated in 2003. And you could totally service me that contract from 2003 if you're going to give me bread that is the price of 2003. If you're going to give me eggs, that is the price of 2003. If you're going to give me gas prices, that is the price of 2003. Pay me 2003. Why not? But if not, you got to pay me 2022. One problem that's somewhat unique to anime, Japanese licensors can balk at the terms in union contracts, especially the requirement to pay actors residuals for 10 years after a show's release. But thanks to lobbying from CODA, SAG released a new contract in 2021, increasing hourly rates for actors to $87 and simplifying the residual requirements. As a result, a streaming service with fewer than 15 million subscribers like Crunchyroll only has to pay the hourly rate, while larger services, theatrical films, and primetime TV channels pay a flat buyout fee in lieu of residuals for a union show. Crunchyroll didn't provide a comment when asked about their past and future union dubbing policies. According to Coda, the pay rates for Funimation shows range from $35 to $75 per hour, depending on the number of hours worked. Again, from what I remember, I believe it was even Kali Bear, the voice actor of Gohan in Dragon Ball Z, and the narrator. I believe he was the one that gave me that info about the $65 an hour. Video game and anime voice actor Sara Sakura Hayate in Rumble Garadon says that's not nearly enough. She'd like to see the rate go up to $125 to $150 an hour with a 2-hour minimum, so the actor is paid for at least 2 hours, even for a short session. Like I told you, it's six. Basically, they want to double the pay. If it's $65 with a 2-hour minimum, they want $125 with a 2-hour minimum. Now you're getting $250, which still, you get $250 and you don't get a call back for 2 months, you're kind of screwed, but it's still better than $130. And even then, I ain't gonna lie, that's still wow. You know what I'm saying? I'd imagine like Hollywood for like, when Chris Rock voices, oh God, I can't stop thinking about Chris Rock and Will Smith. What have they done to us? Oh, wow. So when they're in a film voice acting, I'd imagine they're getting millions. And I'm not expecting each and every voice actor in Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer or anything to get millions, but get more than that. Like that $800 an hour thing with the video games was like, wow. Like, even if it's just the 800, for 2 hours, $1,600, somebody could live off $1,600 for 2 months. Like, you could kind of squeeze by or something like that. I can't squeeze by with $130. Citing shows like Dragon Ball that require strenuous sessions that could be vocally damaged, she also wants to see hazard pay for voice actors. Miller and Steve Bloom, Spike and Cowboy Bebop, echoed her concerns. I saw people damage themselves permanently for some of the lowest pay in the industry, says Bloom. Then there's the elephant in the room. Funimation's dubs were produced largely in Texas, a right-to-work state, and will likely remain there under Crunchyroll management. Right-to-work laws, which exist in 27 most Republican-controlled U.S. states, allow workers to take a job at a company with a union contract without having to join the union or pay dues. So even if there's a union at Funimation, because they're in Texas and Texas laws are as is, it doesn't matter. They can still keep on, no, we're still giving you $35 an hour. This significantly reduces SAG's influence over studios by removing a source of funding and their biggest bargaining chip, access to top talent. That means far fewer union productions in states without right-to-work laws like California and New York. And the union penalizes members for working non-union shows, driving some actors who work primarily with Texas-based companies, anime voice actors for instance, to forego union membership entirely. Basically, they making them feel like, yo, dog, you can get that union. Doesn't mean you're gonna work for us. The main struggle with getting union dubs in a right-to-work state stems from the vast amount of misinformation about how the union actually works, says Coda. Actors' unions, especially those with the track record of SAG-AFTRA, nearly always result in workers being treated better and paid more fairly. Some actors, including Cher herself, have opted for what's called financial core or FICOR status. Their performers are officially not union members, but pay a minimal set of dues to be eligible for both union and non-union shows. Bloom sees this as a way to play both sides, and even Shay says that the union actors who take non-union work allow studios to keep going non-union because they can find plenty of skilled actors for cheaper. Despite her status, she says she turns down 80% of the non-union auditions she receives, and honestly, this whole story was unreal. I'm not even gonna lie. I just can't even believe this right now, that people are in big productions. And again, everybody can't be the big gainer, right? Everybody ain't gonna be the millionaire. Everybody ain't gonna get even a 6-figure check from a film. But my God, man, you know what I'm saying? I feel like walking away from being a voice actor for a Jujutsu Kaisen film ideally should definitely warrant more than this. I don't know how much would be the right amount, honestly. Like, I can't really call it, but I know for a fact that what they're getting is based off of very outdated, you know what I'm saying, 19-year-old contracts. When the cost of living has gone up, things need to change ASAP. I support and I stand with all of the voice actors that are trying to make their moves. Do your thing, because I'm a creative and I like to see the creatives win. Because I heard this on a podcast and it really rang true for me, is divided we beg, together we bargain. And if they're together with their unions, they can bargain and they don't have to worry about like things going bad and how it's going to reflect and the companies and all that jazz. And I'm definitely curious about how you guys feel of this whole debacle. Do you feel that voice actors are underpaid? They should get more? How much do you think would be a good wage for them to get? And especially considering the film size, should that be taken into account? Like if it's a Jujutsu Kaisen 0 production compared to like a maybe smaller film that is not going to be like a top 50 bestseller or anything like that, like the top 50 best-selling manga list, like how would you feel about that? But yeah, we're going to talk about top 50 best-selling manga right now because we got that list right here. Y'all already know, y'all about to start calling me the transition king. Because for starters, we got 50 through 41 and a lot of kind of unfamiliar names, or they're just really with the long names again. But we got a Toilet Bound Hanako-kun in, what is it, 23 days, 14,541, bringing his total to 223,000 copies sold. Awesome stuff. Then we got Spy Family at number 46, volume 8. Yet again, another 15,000, almost a milli, 926,000 or 28,000. Not bad at all. Doing good. And then closing out on 41, Grand Blue Volume 18. Why does that look like Bakuman so much? Whoa, 16,000, bringing his total to 144,000. Wow, yeah, I genuinely was like, yo, is that Bakuman for a moment? Then 40 through 31, we got Jujutsu Kaisen still in there, and we just talked about Jujutsu Kaisen too. 16,481, 1.9, so less than 100K from a million. Not bad, not bad. I don't know why that Shadow's House volume is like catching my eye. Like all I just see is like, that's a headless dress or something. What the hell? That's crazy. Knights and Magic, that looks kind of cool. Then we got Dr. Stone at number 36, volume 25, another 17,000. Okay, broke 200K. Again, it's just gonna be interesting that Dr. Stone is over. It's just a reminder. Like now it's already kind of settling in. Like, oh, Dr. Stone is really over. Like we got the anime to look forward to, but no, it's really done. Wild. Then at number 29, we got Hajime no Ippo, volume 134 with 22,000 this week. In 11 days, 62,000. And shout outs to George Morikawa. Like, my God, 134 volumes. Like, imagine if dude has been stacking his cake all these years from all the volumes he's sold. My God, I believe Ippo is at like 100 mil or something like that. Like, lots and lots of money. Then at number 23, Tokyo Revengers, volume 26, looking good. 26,540. Almost 900,000. Again, par for the course for all Tokyo Revenger volumes. They'll hit a mil before they leave top 50. Four Nights of the Apocalypse. That's really good. Four Nights of the Apocalypse, 11 days, almost 70,000 copies sold. I don't know. I feel like Four Nights of the Apocalypse might actually be a reflection of like, yo, it's actually really good, because it does really freaking good in terms of the sales for like a small spin-off. It doesn't have an anime and a lot of people are sour to it. It's still making moves, so shout outs to it. I mean, it does help that it had like a majillion anime with the previous series, but yeah, it seems like some people are still rocking with them sins now with the Four Nights of the Apocalypse. Number 15 now, Fire Force volume 33, 37,000 this week, 11 days, 96,000. Another one that, oh my God, so many series are ending. Fire Force, and that cover is just freaking awesome. Number 12, Kaiju number 8, volume 6, 43,000, 544,000 total. I ain't gonna lie, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I know the contents of that volume, and Jesus Christ, you're gonna want to buy that volume when it comes out, which is crazy. Kaiju number 8 is 12 volumes deep, still no anime. Holy cow. Soon. Well, it was kind of already announced, like Toho has something in production, so we'll get an official announcement eventually. Then top 10. Tensei Shitara Slime Date-kun, volume 20, 45,000 in a total of 19 days, almost 400,000 sales. Blue Lock, 52,000, 133,000 total. Blue Lock, man, it got sports down packed. And I believe in another episode I had called it a romance, but I was referring to, because I was comparing it to Blue Box. That is a romance sports, and I think Blue Lock is just sports, so forgive me on that one if you caught it. Then we got Takopi's Original Magi, no, Original Sin, with 65. I'm gonna keep saying it. You already know. If you watch the episode, go watch the previous episode so you can understand what I'm talking about, of what that looks like, that person crying there. Arajing. Then we got Honey Lemon Soda. I haven't seen a Honey Lemon Soda volume in a while. 66,000 at number 6 in 3 days. Not bad, not bad. Then we're gonna look at number 4, So Free Eden, volume 7, 72,000. In 11 days, 238,000. So no Free Eden. I really don't know too much about this series. I do know that it's popular and people love it, and people say it's really good. So again, there's one to look into. Kaguya-sama Lovers War, 83,000. Dope. 168 in total so far. And then top 2, we got Shimatsu no Valkyrie, a.k.a. Record of Ragnarok, with, in 10 days, 195,000. That's a little bit lower than usual for Record of Ragnarok. Interesting. And number 1, My Dress Up Darling. This is an anime that, I'll be honest with you, I avoided it because I didn't know what was going on with it. I didn't know if it was like one of those creep anime or something. And I'm not saying that I've seen anything to give me that idea. It's just the name, I guess. My Dress Up Darling. And I see like a girl and I'm like, is this about like taking off, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of had a first thing of like, that name sounds a little, I don't know, but it's doing very well, and a lot of people are saying the anime is awesome. My Dress Up Darling volume 9 in 3 days, 127,000, topping the top 50 best-selling manga chart for this week. And we definitely had a lot of competition here. Nothing really brand new per se hitting this chart. I know some volumes just dropped for next week's chart, so we're definitely going to see some newbies. And we got some new volumes on the way, so I can't wait to take a look at those, and we'll actually talk about it a little bit later in the episode. And I'm excited to see the next chart because we got a whole bunch of volumes coming out, including, it was announced, well, at the very least over here in North America, not in Japan, but over here in North America, the final volume of Berserk is on the way. And honestly, I really feel so sad even reading and saying those lines. Final Berserk volume arrives from Dark Horse in November. Dark Horse Comics confirmed with Crunchyroll News today that Berserk volume 41, the final release in the series by Kentaro Miura, is scheduled to release this November, with comic store availability on November 9th and bookstore availability on November 22nd. The release will be in trade paperback for the first time, including a 2-sided color poster insert, and will retail for $14.99. Mike Richardson, president and founder of Dark Horse Comics, which coincidentally after Kentaro Miura passed away and No More Berserk was coming in, I believe didn't Dark Horse sell or something to a big conglomerate, said in a statement, "It is with great pride that Dark Horse will release Miura Sensei's last installment of his masterpiece, Berserk. His creativity and incredible storytelling are unmatched, and to be able to release his final work for the fans is an honor that cannot be understated." Along with other publishers around the globe, Dark Horse announced Berserk Volume 41's initial release in major newspaper inserts last December. Dark Horse, of course, described the final volume of Berserk Volume 41. I'm wondering if they're going to go this direction, because a part of me feels like the best thing to do in order to really not piss off some people if it doesn't go accordingly is end Berserk and come back with Berserk, a revamped Berserk of Berserk whatever, and then you give the ending in that Berserk. Honestly, I feel like that's the better route, because if you go this route and people really don't like it and the studio can't emulate Kentaro Miura's arc exactly and they can't really bring his vision to life exactly, at the very least it'll give some closure to some fans, like, yo, Berserk ended with Kentaro Miura, like that's it. And then some people that it's like, yo, but I really wanted to see how it ended, and supposedly Kentaro Miura might have left some papers behind of saying, hey, this is a blueprint of how I had my story. They can continue it and we can also get that ending. I want to see how it ends and how Kentaro Miura is. It won't be obviously nowhere close to the level of what Kentaro Miura did, but I still want to see what he was planning on doing with the ending in terms of what happens, man. These two characters that is on one of the most demonic and crazy battle courses ever, and what happens? So I'm definitely excited. Not even two characters, multiple characters, obviously Casca, Guts, Griffith, all of them. Like I want to see. So hopefully with this Berserk Volume 41, it is the final volume of Berserk, and then we could get Berserk, I don't know, Advent of the Apocalypse, or Berserk Chaos Ensues, or Berserk few years later. If you think about it like that, wow. Now that I'm thinking about it, essentially, if they did a time skip and they kind of revamped the looks of Guts, Griffith, Casca, and everybody, that would actually work a little bit more, because like, okay, now you're rebranding it, it's like Berserk, the new brand, and then you're showing the characters 3-4 years later, they all look different, so the art style change isn't going to be as noticeable, because again, you can't never 100% replicate an author's, you know, art style. Like Toyotaro tries his best to replicate Toriyama's, but it really comes out more so looking like the anime, because I think it's easier to cope with and, you know, I guess accept change change when the narrative itself is also changing. Everything needs to change itself, so that way it's like, hey, it feels almost like it's progressively changing, opposed to just drastically a new artist came in and it's like, whoa. And at the end of the day, all change ain't bad. Sometimes some change is necessary. Sometimes you need to implement some change to see if you can get a better result. Obviously, Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. You gotta change, like what Weekly Shonen Jump is doing right now. According to this, it says it appears Weekly Shonen Jump has changed its digital survey system this week with issue number 18, even though it's not yet known if this will be a new recurrent system or just a one-time survey. In this occasion, they have asked readers mainly about series volumes, and they had like a whole list of different questions about volumes, and it seems like they were more so curious about the people that are reading the magazine, what they think about the volumes. It looks like they're starting to focus more like, maybe, who knows, they see the writing on the wall that a magazine release might not be the most beneficial 10 years from now. Let's focus on seeing what these people that are reading our magazine care about with volumes. Or it could also be like, well, let's see what the pulse is like. What do they want moving forward? Like, okay, you want this from a volume or whatever, and then they could kind of get an idea a little bit of like, this is the packaging they want. Oh, this is a type of story beat that they want. Like, you can get a lot out of very small opinions and questions that you asked in those reader surveys. But again, it also is a sign of the changing of the times. Like we spoke about it in a previous episode of Forever News, how they're doing massive changes, they're trying different things, and this is another massive change for Shonen Jump. Like, their surveys, their reader surveys are kind of firm. It's like, hey, what do you think of the magazine? What do you think of, like, which series is your favorite and stuff like that. If they're changing it to be more volume oriented, that means that they're trying to do different things. That means that they're trying to see where they could go with it, and it kind of just adds into the stories we spoke about again in a previous episode of Shonen Jump, Shueisha in general are changing, and it looks like they're trying to be a little bit more aware in different avenues. Maybe they realize too, yo, we could push volume sales, and volume sales will make us way more money than pushing this magazine that is selling less and less each and every year, which is completely understandable. You got to save your thing. You got to change it up. You can't stay the same. I mean, here at Forever News, we've been changing it up multiple times. Right now, as you're watching this video, the thumbnail style probably is another new style, because you got to keep on adapting. You either stay and die or grow and adapt and thrive. Bam, that was a bar. Ooh, but not as much of a bar as being able to say, yo, dog, I got a manga that is so freaking popular, they got it on a giant TV in the middle of freaking Times Square looking city in Japan. Okay, like, yo, shout outs to Yuki Tabata, because we got a couple of pieces of things to talk about regarding Black Clover. For starters, one of the biggest things that I was like, holy cow, apparently I believe over there in Japan, to promote the upcoming stuff with Black Clover, one of those recent trailers, I believe it was like for the movie and the anniversary and all that jazz, they actually were playing it over there like in their Times Square type of thing, you know, New York City Times Square. Well, over there it looks like maybe this is like Tokyo or something, and they have Black Clover, the full-on trailer for the upcoming film, playing there, and I love to see it. That's great promo. That also still reaffirms that, no, they still believe in this, you know, they still believe in Black Clover being a big thing. They still believe in Black Clover bringing in fans and whatnot, because they wouldn't do this. You know how much it costs to get anything playing from there right there? Like, that's probably $250,000 just to do that. Just in fact for that to go on social media. Because another thing here, I'm going to give you guys some game. Another thing is, a lot of these corporations, they don't even care about that being there. They don't even care if nobody looks up from the crowd to that screen. You know what they care about? They care about people like me and you that are gonna take that, be impressed, say, oh my god, I love to see it, and share it on Twitter, and share it on Facebook, and share it on Instagram, and share it on YouTube. They want us to do that and promote Black Clover that way, because it's such a huge, iconic scene. All it takes is for somebody with notoriety to retweet it, and all the fans are gonna retweet it and post it anyway. And once again, they just spent $250,000 to reaffirm for the fans and bring in new fans via the internet, not necessarily the people that are looking up. From those, sure, it gives a great impression, like, yo, that shit look kind of cool. It's really for the internet at this point, similar to how they've been doing in the music industry, like, you know, the Drake, how he was putting up billboards in every town and everything like that. Like, not really for the town, for those people, it's for the internet. And I think that's fire, because I guess a little bit more in Black Clover related news, Shoseki's first day of April volumes is here, and we got, again, like, new volumes that are coming out. We'll see the sales within the next top 50 best-selling manga list. But of course, Jujutsu Kaisen #1, One Piece. Whoa! Jujutsu Kaisen #1, One Piece #2. Yo, dog. Sometimes I stay shocked. Whoa! What? And that could very well change. This is day one. They usually record the first 3 days, and then we see more or less what the sales are looking like for the first week. But wow, I was gonna talk about Black Clover, but okay. Jujutsu Kaisen #1, One Piece #2, Black Clover #6. Now, mind you, that volume cover is freaking gas. I don't know why they put what's his name in there, Mr. Baha himself, Seke, but but that's a really, really awesome cover. Number 6, I gotta see what the sales is looking like, but I keep it a buck with you. I almost guarantee that it's probably gonna do similar sales as it's done. Like now, because Dr. Stone is gone, it probably is a little bit more higher in the magazine anyways, because it's like one less competitor from the old generation. But Elusive Samurai, and depending again what the numbers are looking like, is only 2 spots away, and it's way more of a newbie. And then Witch Watch, that's not bad for Witch Watch, placing 14. I will tell you right now that I can almost guarantee, now I'm sure, that Shugomaru and Doran Dororan are probably gonna get canceled. Like those ouch, number 78. We'll see what the sales are looking like, but coming in at number 7. Oh, Shugomaru's out of here. The guy from Koisuru One Piece. Expect Koisuru One Piece to resume real soon. They bringing that shit back and getting this out of here. Doran Dororan, I don't know, man, because like it was placing okay, but these sales are abysmal. PPP is probably going to survive for a bit. I don't know how long, but I've heard good things about it. I got to check it out. But that's dope. And, you know, music, I'm a music fan. I don't know. I always thought it was a piano manga. But yeah, so good for PPP, Witch Watch, Elusive Samurai, Black Clover, it's either yay, nay. One Piece, I'm really freaking shocked Jujutsu Kaisen's number 1 over it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And again, Black Clover got a new volume coming out. And of course, when it comes to North America, you know, if you want to see Black Clover continue, you know, support, because you never know when Tabata's gonna give us the finger and say, you know what, see ya, I'm doing something else now, kind of like Tatsuki Fujimoto when he said, see ya, Chainsaw Man's over now, kind of abruptly. Because in case you didn't know, big news coming out of the unofficial Weekly Shonen Jump Twitter account, but it is official news, that Tatsuki Fujimoto, author of Chainsaw Man, will be publishing a new one-shot manga of, oh my god, you ready? Guess what the page count is right now. Type it what you thought the page count was in the comment. Go ahead, I'm gonna give you a second. 3, 2, 1. Subscribe to ForneverWorld and hit that bell for all notifications. 200 pages in April 11th. 200 pages. Wow. Now either that's gonna be this one shot again, that femme fatale story that he really wanted to tell, or it's gonna be somehow loosely related to Chainsaw Man, or I don't know what. Like at this point, if this is not related to Chainsaw Man, again, it's so one shot about a femme fatale, nothing to do with Chainsaw Man, let this be the last one shot until Chainsaw Man 2. I hope this is the last one. If this is nothing to do with Chainsaw Man, ideally it would make more sense. Like you got a whole lot of press behind this. It's Chainsaw Man 2 anyways. I would like surprise everybody. 200-page chapter Chainsaw Man. Let's freaking go. Chainsaw Man 2 is back and the anime is about to be coming soon. We'll see, but yeah, 200 pages April 11th. If the term we're eating was never so perfect, right? But again, I'm just a little bit like, man, what if it's Chainsaw Man 2, dog? What if? That would be fire. But you know what they say about if, right? If was a fifth, then Ranking of Kings manga got canceled. Or at the very least, it got freaking suspended because of poor translations. And I think it was even like stolen translations. Let's read. Book Live suspends Ranking of Kings manga's English release for retranslation. Ebook publisher Book Live announced on Thursday that it is suspending the distribution of the English version of Sosuke Toka's Ranking of Kings Osama Ranking manga and is in the process of retranslating the series. Book Live began distributing the manga's first 7 volumes in English on February 18th, but readers pointed out typographical errors and inadequate translations. Customers who have already purchased the books in English will be able to download the retranslated version for free when it's re-uploaded. The company will announce more details at a future date. It's hoping to release the manga as soon as possible. Book Live and translation contractor Dragon Digital apologized for spoiling the image of the series. Toka has been serializing the manga on the user-submitted manga website Manga Hack and other venues since May 2017, and Kadokawa published the 12th compiled volume on December 10th. And honestly, to me, and I'm gonna just take a shot in the dark, maybe they gave opportunity to a shady dude of like, yo, dog, you can do the translations, right? He's like, yeah, I get it done. How much? Your normal what? Oh, yeah, pay me that. Bet. Like, honestly, it sounds like a genius scam if it wasn't for the fans catching their asses on it. Like, yo, dog, I could essentially pretend to be a translator and just steal the stolen translations and use them and pretend I'm a translator. That's some super wow. Like, yeah, you could do that, but there. And I'd imagine a lawsuit is on the way if the culprits that were translating it don't give back the bread, or, you know, some type of making amends, so to speak, because I'd imagine you got a little bit of money, right, to do that, and then you're gonna give them the finger? Yeah, probably. And unfortunately, this is going to be bad for Ranking of Kings' manga because, yeah, they're gonna lose a lot of money over this BS, them having to redo the whole thing, put out a new budget for it. It's probably gonna be in the red for the remainder of it, and that kind of sucks. But it sucks and leaves us off at the end of today's episode. Curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story, something that I didn't talk about that you're like, yo, Fornev, bro, bro. Bro, talk about it. Let me know. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And you guys just watched another episode of Forever News. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I'm just saying. You what I know, so just go.